A Song to the Tune of Love by It's_Kingston on AO3. Episode 16. Chapter 6. Outro. The walk to the park was just as nerve-wracking as it had been the first time, except now it was different. Uraraka really wasn't checking each alley entrance and watching behind her, terrified the League would pop out of nowhere, swearing vengeance. For those few nights after she met the League, Uraraka feared a resurgence in the nightmares. She was beginning to shake. Nightmares never came, though. Only nights spent sleeping all right. Dreamless slumber. As she turned into the park, she wasn't listening for footsteps. Hope she'll hear them in time. She looked around once, twice, and walked forward, trusting her eyes. Their bench was in place far from the entrance, and Uraraka seemed to make it there in record time. Toga was watching the ground, swinging her feet and humming something. Uraraka walked over, straight through the grass, and stopped before her. "Is that a lullaby?" Uraraka asked. Toga leaned back to look at her, smiled softly. "I think so. I don't really know where I heard it." As Uraraka sat down beside her, Toga slid over and grabbed her hand like clockwork. "Sounds like one, though." "Yeah, that's why I asked." Uraraka replied. "Having a good day?" She'd asked soon enough, once she garnered the nerve. "Yeah," Toga exclaimed. "We're kind of getting close to being done with all the meetings. It's looking good, like the quirky quality acts are actually gonna pass." "That's great." "But that's not all." Toga turned to her, smiling so hard Uraraka thought she was going to split into two. "I really want to know what's got you smiling like that." She chuckled. "I've got Spinner to help me out. He climbed up the balcony wall and checked all around the edges, and they didn't put cameras out there. He said it's probably because it's so up high and none of us can fly." "Oh, that's interesting." Uraraka nodded along. Toga giggled, took Uraraka's hands between hers. "You can fly, though." "That's where you were getting at?" she asked, despite knowing how bad an idea was. She couldn't help the way her lips curled into a smile. "I wouldn't mind visiting sometime. Tonight? We could watch movies like last time, and we could get snacks on the way back to our apartment. Plus, I have my own big room, so the rest of the League wouldn't be hanging around us over your shoulder." Toga jumped off the bench, began to pace in the grass. "I don't know if I can do tonight. Or at night in general. UA's got a curfew." Uraraka stood up and walked over to her, letting Toga begin to lead her across the concrete wall. "Please?" Toga whined. She grabbed Uraraka's hand and stopped walking. "As long as they know you're alright, it'll be fine." "They'll want to know where I am, and it'll cause a huge big mess." Uraraka sighed. "I'm sorry." Toga's pleading expression turned to a pout. "Come on," she asked again. More like insisted this time. "Sorry, Himiko. I'll see if I could swing by tomorrow afternoon, though." Uraraka offered. She rested her free hand on Toga's arm. "It'll have to be Sunday. I won't be home tomorrow," she said. "I already have plans for Sunday. Mina and Sooo, Izuku, and I are going to the mall. Next Saturday or Sunday, then? I won't make any plans." Toga groaned, letting herself fall theoretically into Uraraka's shoulder. "That's an entire week, though. It's too long." "I know," Uraraka replied. She rubbed little circles on Toga's back. "But it's only a week. 7 days. That's the same amount of time between our meetings. Plus, you'll see me on Friday, too." "Too long," Toga said again. She quickly pushed back from Uraraka, a new idea evident in her smirk. "I want to get snacks. We've got enough time for that, right?" Uraraka chuckled as she offered her hand to Toga, who took it happily. "Sure. Where'd you want to go?" "There's this gas station. It's not far from here, like 15 minutes. Toga pointed off towards the store. "I know the one you're talking about. We've got more than enough time to stop by there," Uraraka replied. It's always smelled so good in here, Toga announced as the automatic door slid open in front of them. Like that pizza and fries they've got behind the counter. Yeah, Uraraka agreed. Smells extra good tonight. I haven't had dinner yet. Really? I ate before I head out. Toga was already skipping off to the candy aisle, still talking like Uraraka was standing beside her. Uraraka hurried after her with a fond smile. I eat dinner with everyone else, and that's usually around 7:30 on weekdays. I missed it most Fridays. The time we went to pizza was an exception. Uraraka shrugged. We should load up on snacks then, so we have plenty for later. Toga picked up a few candy bars. What's your favorite? Anything chocolate, really. Milk chocolate, to be specific. Toga hummed, looked around the shelf. Aha! She scooped up a box of Pocky. Milk chocolate. She passed them off to Uraraka. You know, there's this kind of game with these? Toga grinned. I know. What are you asking for? Nothing. Uraraka shrugged. Just curious if you knew. You know, if you stayed over to watch movies with me, we'd definitely have more than enough time to play that game you're talking about. Toga offhandedly mentioned. She pretended to be busy looking through chips further down the aisle. Uraraka blushed, but shook her head. I'm not staying the night, Himiko. Curfew, remember? Good try, though. Dang it! Toga spun around, giggling. I would have taken that offer. You would have agreed the moment I said it was possible. Uraraka laughed. Maybe now was a good time to ask the question. Yeah, come on. Chips and soda now. Toga waved her over. Just a few feet down the aisle they already stood in. All right, what kind do you have? Uraraka looked over the 2 party-sized bags tucked under her arm, then back at the shelf. I grabbed my faves. Toga exclaimed. Uraraka nodded, reached down to grab a large bag of her favorite chips too. She saved up some money in preparation for the mall outing on Sunday. It'll be okay to splurge a bit with it now, with Toga. Got what you want? Toga asked as she started down the aisle again. The floors were shiny and buffered, making them sticky. Toga seemed to notice this as she walked, using them to slide along the door in her shoes. 'Cause I'm grabbing soda. Don't fall, Uraraka warned as she watched Toga around the corner. Seriously, you'll have a hard time catching yourself while holding everything. I'm fine, Toga called. Uraraka turned around in time to see Toga turn back into the aisle, having made a lap around the stand. I can even grab a basket while sliding around. She held it up, stopping in front of Uraraka. Put your stuff in too. With a laugh, Uraraka did as asked, drops her chip and bag and pack of Pocky into the handheld basket. You want me to carry it? It's not heavy, Toga said. Something seemed to pop into her head as she put the basket down and hazily turned to Uraraka. Can you use your quirk on me so I can slide super fast? She splurred. Maybe not. You could run into something. Or get us kicked out. Or get hurt. Uraraka rubbed the back of her neck. Please, I promise it'll be fine, and I'll make sure the cashier doesn't see me, Toga said. She grabbed Uraraka's hand, put it just over her shoulder. With a sigh, Uraraka pushed her hand down, her quirk activating. Okay, I'm stopping it there because I'm tired, I'm sleepy, and I want to play some games with my friends. Sue me. No, actually, sue me. I want to see you try. You're not going to be able to, but I would love to see that. Anyways, as always, my raindrops, make sure to eat, sleep, drink water, take your meds. Have a wonderful day or night. Link to my Discord server and socials are down in the description. Subscribe to see more of my content, and thank you so much for watching.